Hi guys, this is Starseed Mentality, back at you again with another video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about a list of what Black Americans care about. Okay, before I get started, please like, share, and subscribe to my videos to stay updated on my content if you are on my YouTube family. And with that being said, let's dive in. So as my intro, okay, I wanted to list something called the problem, okay? I don't know if it's because the Democratic Party is slow or the Republican Party is slow, but there is always a complaint about why the voter turnout is low for Black Americans, okay? Maybe it's because candidates don't ever bring up shit we actually care about. So let me do y'all the pleasure of telling y'all what political candidates need to talk about for Black Americans to vote. There's always, as a political science minor, they always say, oh, well, we lack information, or we don't ever have the transportation to get to the polls. And I mean, that's all true, but there's also the idea that none of these candidates actually talk about the things that I will be listing. Okay? So let's talk about the first thing that Black Americans care about, talk about, want in policy, okay? And that is reparations for the descendants of slaves, okay? Billions, and I won't be elaborating too much on this topic because I only have 10 minutes, okay? But I'm just going to keep it very simple, okay? There are billions of dollars to fund a war in Israel. Okay, and there are billions of dollars given to Ukraine. Okay, what about the descendants of American enslavement? Okay, additionally, there is more than one country that owes us reparations. Okay, and to name a few, there is the British royal family and the Vatican Church. Okay, that the Pope was telling these royal families to go into these regions and to colonialize Africa and to snatch people from these lands and put them on American soil by force. Okay? The number one thing America needs to do as far as reparations is that they lied in the history books about how Native Americans don't look like me. That's the number one thing that Americans did that we need our money for. Okay, our land back. Okay, but there's more than one country that owes you reparations. Okay, so that's the first thing we care about. That's the first thing these candidates need to talk about: reparations for Black Americans. Okay, the second thing Black Americans care about is prison and police reform. Okay, there needs to be a policy where police officers get paid compensation if they snitch on their partners for doing something shady. Okay, the police needs more accountability. Okay, more accountability in law enforcement. Okay, Black households also need to be reunited with their families who have been wrongfully imprisoned under the 94 crime bill that was introduced by the president that we have in the White House right now. Okay, as well as Bill Clinton. Okay. The next thing Black Americans care about is school reform. Okay, now there's a lot of things in here that are just my ideas as school reform, but we need to exercise balance between the principles of Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois. Okay, where Black Americans are going to school to become lawyers, doctors, and other things, but also graduating from high school with a skill. Okay, this is something that we had during Black Wall Street, which is the reason why we had so much Black wealth. Okay, because we were graduating the high school with a trade. Okay, and we need to reintroduce that back into the school curriculum. Okay, we need to bring back home economics. Okay, every year from freshman to senior year, there needs to be a trade credit, okay, on top of the normal science, math, and literature courses. So on top of classes like algebra, chemistry, biology, you need to take at least one class to pick up a trade. Okay, so you can graduate the high school and get a job right away if that's something that you choose to do instead of going straight to college. Okay. Another thing I recommend is PE reform, where students, especially in the inner city, okay, I grew up in Chicago, okay, in the inner city, okay, um, where we aren't learning team sports but learning life skills like martial arts, self-defense, etc. Okay, again, every year from freshman to senior year, there needs to be a course on karate, boxing, self-defense, and for that whole year, as your PE credit, you are learning a skill set, okay, that requires physical exercising, okay. Save team sports for extracurricular activities or after school activities such as football, basketball, tennis, track. Leave all of that after school, but in school you are learning a skill, okay. That's just my idea of what we should have as school reform. Another topic that Black Americans care about is decriminalizing drugs. So this ties into the 94 crime bill and prison reform, okay? Possession of drugs is a non-violent crime, okay? So instead of doing your charges in a cell with people who are literally violent, okay, which that's a non-violent offense to have possession of drugs, okay, at maximum you should get a ankle monitor and serve your time at home and also be working, okay. And so that's another thing that I recommend in terms of decriminalizing drugs, okay. Last thing that Black Americans care about, immigrants and other issues, okay. I don't really have much to say as far as immigrants in the country, except, give homeless Americans the same treatment you give homeless immigrants, okay. If you haven't heard, look into Chicago and everything that's going on with our mayor as being a sanctuary city, and how Chicagoans or Americans are feeling like immigrants are getting more treatment than homeless Americans, okay? When I don't really dabble in the pick me or choose one over the other, but if you're going to open shelters and hotels and for immigrants and give them all this extra treatment, do the same thing for the homeless Americans, okay? And some of your veterans are homeless, got disabilities, got mental issues, you know what I'm saying? And so they're homeless because of these issues that they're having. So again, contribute to everybody equally, especially the people that have already contributed to your country. Which it says here, my main issue with the Democratic Party is that they are always trying to give an arm and a leg to individuals who have not contributed to the American society. That's why our veterans are homeless and the descendants of slaves haven't gotten their reparations, but thousands of dollars are going overseas to Ukraine, Israel. What about inborn Americans, FBAs, foundational Black Americans? What about us? Okay. The last thing, really, that Black Americans also care about is felons should be able to vote after they have served their time. Okay. So once again, please like, share, and subscribe to the video to stay updated on my content. Again, these are some things that I really want our political candidates to talk about, to, have questions about when we have, our prompters during the elections and during the debates. These are things that Black Americans care about, okay? This is what's going to get us to the polls when we have policies and congressmen and women talking about these issues, okay? And with that being said, I love y'all. Patah. Peace.